And in terms of being a performer, do you find it easier to keep an eye on the bigger picture, if you like? I mean, fans will always have their say on social media, of course, but whereas some are saying, oh, goodness, Lesnar is champion again, etc., etc., are you able to see the value in perhaps, another big money program running towards SummerSlam or however that plays out and to look past perhaps what might be the obvious in the short term?
Yeah, I think so. If you look at the totality of the story, from the first, I mean, realistically, if you look at it from January until August, and who knows what will happen after that. But if you look at it from Royal Rumble to SummerSlam, you look at the totality of the story between myself and Brock Lesnar. I think if you think about it that way, you might come to appreciate it a little bit more. I think obviously in 2019, everybody's always looking for what's next and what's new and what's fresh and all that stuff. And so at the end of the day, if you look at Brock Lesnar and I's encounters, we haven't really had a wrestling match. You look at WrestleMania, it was short. You look at Super Showdown, it was short. These aren't really matches. So I think we know each other well enough at this point. I think we're both prepared. He's not going to underestimate me. And so, SummerSlam's going to look as a match, I think, a lot different than the interactions Lesnar and I have had up until this point. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think, again, if you're a fan and you look into things as much as that, then if you look at the totality of the story, you might appreciate it a little bit more.
And do you think that as a wrestler, and particularly when you consider his amateur background as well, in the modern day, because he is so hard-hitting and because he's the beast and all these kind of things, does Brock sometimes not get the credit he deserves for being a good in-ring performer for you?
Look, say what you will about him as a human being, as a champion, as someone who doesn't inspire people. I've said all the things about him in that way, but I will say he's an ultra competitor. And when the lights are the brightest, he turns it on, and he goes, and he can go. And for a guy who's been through what he's been through in his life, from his teenage years in collegiate wrestling to his WWE schedule, to his UFC schedule, he's a competitor, he's a fighter, and he brings it every single time. Trust me, I've been in there with him. I know what those suplexes feel like. I know what those knees feel like. It's no joke. And so I think when he wants to go, he can go. And so I'm looking forward to seeing how far he wants to go at SummerSlam.